All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Race at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
All right, welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Got a lot to talk about today. NBA Finals. Warriors got a big win last night, even the series up 1-1. You can't fall down 0-2, especially losing 2 games at home. So that was a big win. But joined today by Greg, and also joined by the Sensei.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Making her first appearance here on that ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, fellas. How y'all doing today?
Doing good. Doing good. It's always good on the intro. I love seeing Jose Bautista getting the crap beat out of him. That's my favorite part of the intro. Jose Bautista getting the crap beat out of him. Yeah.
So, Greg, so you like to choose violence when you wake up then?
only for certain people. Only for certain people.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the game last night, Greg? I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I watched a lot of the highlights because I was watching WWE. I was doing a WWE show last night with my dad. But
okay.
The Warriors have been killing the Celtics in the third quarter.
Yes.
Over 2 games, I think I saw plus 35.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the third quarter has been the Warriors' quarter so far.
And really, in that first game, the Warriors fell apart in the fourth quarter of that game because they had control of most of game 1.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about what happened in game 1 because that's not normal for Golden State to give up 40 points in one quarter. So it was more credit to Boston. They made their shots. They played really good defense in that fourth quarter in game 1. So that was more of their doing than the Warriors like collapsing and all that. So on this one, the Warriors made their run in game 3 and they kept the pedal on. They didn't take their foot off of the gas. So they did what they were supposed to do. Draymond was getting on people's nerves. So he was doing what he was, supposed to do. I just like, some people may not, like his style, but it's part of, he wants to get inside your mind. And once he has that, it's over. And so it was a couple of instances where, whether it was the whole Derek White thing, tripping him and doing all that, or Jaylen Brown, they got into it. Grant Williams got into it with him. So he was trying to pick a fight with almost everybody last night, but it worked out in a Golden State's favor. Gary Payton II coming back also helped too. So brought some energy. So Golden State looks good right now. Al Horford only had 2 points. Marcus Smart only had 2 points. So if that's going to be the trend for the rest of the series, then Boston is definitely in some trouble.
Yeah, Jason Tatum hasn't been I know in the first game he had like 12 or 13 assists, but as a scoring option, he hasn't been real consistent these first two games.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. 8 for 19. Yeah. In this last game. So he was, I mean, it was decent, but nobody else stepped up. I mean, Horford only had 2, Smart. So they're going to need the others to step up.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. What was your thoughts on the game last night, Sensei?
Kind of the same thing as Greg. I think that, but I wasn't surprised how Golden State came out because I even said on Sports Sensays I felt like that Golden State was going to come out and have a typical Golden State game. Like they were going to control it from the tip. They were going to control it throughout. They were going to have their third quarter run that they always have, but this time they knew better than to, like Greg said, let their foot off the gas because I feel like that's what they kind of did in the third quarter of the first game. They kind of let their foot off the gas because they're like, I think in their mind it was like, oh, this is a young team. If we come out, we strike them early, they're going to fold. And then the fact that they didn't fold, so they came to the second game knowing like, okay, it's not enough for us to just jump out to this lead. Like we gotta be full throttle. Like we can't just press the gas a little bit and then let up. Like we gotta slam our foot pretty much to the ground. And so that's what they did. I wasn't really surprised how Golden State responded. And then of course getting Gary Payton the third back or the second. I'm not sure if he's the second or third, but getting him back was definitely a key point for them because he helps defensively as well. And I mean, Jason Tatum has to be Jason Tatum, you know what I'm saying? Because he hasn't been Jason Tatum so far, at least the one that we know to be the upcoming superstar. Like he hasn't been that so far in this series, in the first 2 games at least. So, but I mean, still, I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment and write Boston off completely. I think them coming back home for Game 3 is going to be big for them. Probably going to be big for Tatum. I think he bounces back in this Game 3 and they make the homestand because they know they're going to have to. Because if they lose this Game 3, the series is over. So they know that this is how important this Game 3 definitely is if they want to have a fighter's chance in this series.
Yeah, Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole was big last night too. He had 17. It's going to be up to, of course, Curry and Clay, they got to make their shots and all that. But also Jordan Poole and Wiggins, they have to be able to score as well. So Jordan Poole was awesome. He had the, almost near half-court shot to end the third quarter. So Clay kind of, struggled in this game, 4 out of 19 shooting, but
yeah, he hasn't got going offensively yet in this series.
Not yet, but you know that it's coming though.
Honestly, he hasn't been great throughout this playoffs. The only great game he's really had was Game 6 against Memphis.
Yeah, the Game 6, yeah. So, Steph was, he had 29. He was 9 for 21. But it was the defense for Golden State in this game, and then Jordan Poole coming off the bench. So it'll be rowdy at the Boston Garden. They're gonna have a lot of not so nice things to say to Draymond.
So, he ain't gonna get away with a lot of those loose calls that he got away with in that game.
Yeah.
He got away with a lot of stuff in that game too. He ain't gonna get away with that in the Boston Garden.
He'll probably get ejected in Boston if he does some of the stuff he did last night.
I'm telling
probably. And if they say to him half the stuff they were saying to Kyrie, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch for sure.
I thought it was interesting last night from the highlights I saw. The Warriors went to a lot of the high pick and roll. It wasn't a lot of ball movement like you see a lot from them. They went to that high pick and roll with Steph, and Boston's gonna have to find the answer to that because that's killed them basically both games.
Yeah, the high pick and roll. Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna have to start going under those screens because they for whatever reason keep going over the top. And if you go over the top against Steph Curry, that's you dead in the water.
Yep.
Because that's exactly what he wants you to do. If you go over the top, that gives him just as much. That gives him just as much time as he needs, and he only needs a split second to get that shot off.
Mm-hmm.
He don't need a whole lot of time. He's not somebody that needs to set up and get my feet right. He can shoot on the run. He can shoot on the fly. He can shoot. You know what I'm saying? From wherever he needs to shoot from, he needs a split second to see the basket between you and the basket, and that's all he needs. So going on the top of the screens helps Golden State more than it hurts.
Yeah. Boston needs to be more physical, just like they were in the last, two series. They haven't really been all that physical with Golden State yet in these first two games. So
yeah, they gotta send different bodies at Steph. They gotta wear them down. And they're not doing that. They just sticking one or two guys on them. You got to wear. If the effect on Steph Curry is if you send multiple defenders, especially if they're physical, you wear them down, and that's what gets him off his game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Marcus Smart usually does a pretty good job on Steph getting physical and slowing Steph down, but he hasn't been able to do that much the first two games of this series.
Yeah, I think he's still. I don't think Marcus Smart is 100% healthy.
It was an ankle injury, wasn't it?
The ankle, yeah. I don't think he's. I mean, it's good enough to play, but he's not his normal self.
And to chase Steph around for 4 quarters, you need to be healthy, especially ankles.
Full ankle support for sure. I was going to agree with you right there, because you need both of them ankles to be 100% because that's a job in itself chasing that, because all Steph does is move around.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So it just seems like he's a little bit slower than normal. So that's definitely. That's definitely a negative on the Boston side, because now if your best defensive player is a couple steps slower and he's guarding Steph, that's how Steph can have 25, 30, 35-point games.
But Boston has enough depth. They has to realize this. So you got enough depth to switch.
Yeah.
You can put somebody else on Steph to wear Steph down. Marcus Smart don't got to be the sole defender on him.
Yeah, true. That's true.
That's something that's kind of surprised me, is because if you watched during the regular season, Boston was one of the teams that switched most on defense throughout the league, and you haven't seen that as much here in the finals so far.
Yeah, I think they're just more so. I don't know. I think Ime is kind of playing it safe, but he has to be careful with that, because this is not a rookie team. This is a veteran team. You can't play it safe with a veteran team. Like they've seen every defense, every coverage, every, you know what I'm saying, pretty much everything. So like, you gotta be more strategical with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Look for Boston now that it's going back home. I think they're going to be more physical in these next 2 games. And, of course, them being at home, they're going to get a couple more calls than they got in the first 2 games. So look for them to be more physical in games 3 and 4.
And with Boston, I mean, yeah, you don't want to get beat. You don't want to lose any game, and especially like they lost last night. But they done their job. At least they got the split.
Right.
There in Golden State. So at least they stole a game in Golden State, going back home. They got to feel pretty good. I mean, you're not going to feel great after losing like you did last night, but at least you got that first game. So at least you're not down, because you can go down 0-2 to Golden State. You'd be in big trouble.
All right. And Boston, their playoff record at home hasn't been all that. So they needed to get one of these first 2. So they haven't lost.
They haven't lost 2 games in a row in a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, I think Boston gets this game 3. I think they're gonna play well, especially at home. with that crowd, and like I said, the calls are being more so in their favor. So it's really their game to lose, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, look for Jaylen Brown to have a bounce back game too. He only had 17 last night, so
For sure.
yeah, he'll definitely have a bounce back.
Absolutely. I agree as well.
Yeah, I think it was a smart move by Kerr to insert Peyton in the lineup last night instead of going with Iguodala. I know it's nice having Iguodala back, but Pool's defensive presence is big for the Warriors team.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Andre Iguodala is 87 years old. What you need? What you have him on? Why is he out on the court? Like, I don't understand that.
Well, he was doing good that first comment. He he made a three. He was feeling good. I was like, oh, okay, he feeling good. And then he injured it. I think he injured his ankle or something happened, or his knee, and then he had to take him out of the game. But Gary Payton is the second. He's younger, faster, all that, and he fits this Warriors team of now. This year's version. So look for him. He's going to definitely play more as this series goes on now.
Yeah, because when he first got hurt, I thought the Warriors that was might be the Warriors hurt the Warriors a lot in their playoff run when he first got hurt at the beginning of the playoffs, because that, like I say, he's so important on the defensive end for him as well. Mm-hmm. And he can get going on offense as well, but defensively is where I think he really helps the Warriors at.
And it was good for him to kind of have that first fall yesterday. He kind of fell almost the same way he did when he got injured against Memphis. So it's kind of good to get that first fall of the court.
Man, he flopped. Man, cut it out. He flopped.
He
flopped. Because he was barely even touched it. He laid on the ground like, oh my God. Like, please cut it out. Please cut it out.
Yeah, he did a little acting, but it was good to get that out the way. So now his mind can be clear. Like, okay, I fell, nothing bad happened. So,
it was Oscar worthy. That's all I'm gonna say. It was Oscar worthy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was definitely, but yeah, like I said, now that it's going to Boston, crowd is going to be, definitely on the Celtics side. Draymond's going to get his technical fouls and all that good stuff. So I look for as we get to Game 5, I look for this series to be tied up.
Yep, I definitely see it going to. It'll be 2-2, but we'll see though. I mean, anything can happen. It's the NBA Finals, so we'll see.
Well, if anybody now, I will say this: if anybody does go up 3-1, either one of the teams, the series is over. I will say that. So you don't want to lose.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Don't want to lose 2 straight. So, and just and kind of going over the instances I was talking about when Draymond got into those tiffs. That's just old school basketball to me.
Yeah, but just Draymond being Draymond, honestly.
Yeah. So when people say, he's a bully or whatever, it's like, look, this is how he plays. It's an old school basketball way, and obviously it works. So, and some of those, like, I thought the Jaylen Brown one, I think he kind of overreacted. I don't know why Jaylen Brown got up the way that he did, it didn't seem like that much to me. And then the Derek White one, I don't know. He guessed he was trying to. I don't know if he thought Derek White was going to try to step on his head or what, or what the deal was on that one. And then, then he kind of, got into it with Grant Williams. So, it's just, to me, it's just, old school ball. And I think people aren't, used to that. And it can rub some people, the wrong way, but I like it. I like it. So,
I mean, Draymond's gonna Draymond. People gotta understand that.
yeah, he definitely gonna do him. He's definitely gonna do him for sure. Definitely gonna do him for sure. As Chris is out handling something right now. So game 3 is on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? Okay. So
I believe so. Yep.
okay. So predictions for game number 3. Let's go ahead and do that. So Sensei, what's your prediction for game number 3?
I think Boston wins game 3 in a blowout. Kind of like Golden State won game 2 in a blowout. I don't think Jason Tatum finally has his bounce back game. I don't think Marcus Smart only has 2 points, or Al Horford only has 2 points again. I think Jaylen Brown also plays better as well because he typically plays really well at home. So I definitely see them getting control back of the series 2-1 because, like I said, I think they know they have to, because if Golden State goes to 2-1, they're going to 4-1 the series. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that Boston wins game 3 convincingly in a blowout, in my opinion.
Okay. I'll roll with the Celtics in game 3. They haven't lost back-to-back games, I think, since December or January. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll with them in game 3. I'm not gonna say a blowout per se, but I can see them winning by 10. So yeah, I'm gonna go with them in game number 3 in this series. So sis, what did you think of Darvin Ham getting that head coaching job with the Lakers?
I like the hire.
Okay.
Me and Freddie actually just talked about this the other day. I like the hire because he's no nonsense, and I like the fact that he was able to pick his own coaching staff. So he's not coming into it, and he's not coming into a controlled situation. He's able to kind of control the narrative. And I feel like the Lakers, especially somebody like Bron in this part of his career, if he wants the opportunity to win the championship again, he needs a coach that's not going to succumb to his BS, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Bron fan, but I know, you know what I'm saying, if Bron has a pushover coach, that's exactly what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
So I like that they got a coach that is not known for that. And he's, you know what I'm saying, he's coached obviously a championship team with Milwaukee. He kind of knows the trajectory of how the NBA is going now and what it's going to take. So I personally, myself, I like the hire.
Okay. Yeah. It was a good hire. I'm not gonna say it was bad. Terry Stotts is a good coach, and I'm sure he'll get another job somewhere. But Darvin Ham is a good hire for the Lakers. I still don't think the way that the roster is right now, no matter who the coach was, I still don't see the Lakers going to the final, winning the championship. Not the way that it is right now, because you still have Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I'm interested to see how, because I mean it pretty much looks like at this point like we're stuck with him. So I'm interested to see how Hammond's going to make that work. Like, what exactly is he going to implement to complement what Russ does well? Because that's honestly what it comes down to. Because again, me, Freddie, and Tony were actually talking about this the other day. Is that Russ is not a bad player. He just has really bad tendencies. And if you can find a way to stifle said tendencies, or even just kind of mum or mute or lessen some of those tendencies, you can be a successful team, because he's done it before. Like I said, we talk about Russ in this light, like Russ wasn't out here averaging triple doubles for 3 years straight, or Russ isn't a former MVP, or that he didn't lead that Thunder team that Kevin Durant left to the playoffs when everybody wrote them off and said that they were going to be a lottery team. Like, now, Grant, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, Russ has his ways, and that's what people focus on, which rightfully so, because we are very much a here and now kind of league when it comes to the NBA. So I get it, but he's not a bad player. He just, like I said, he just has really bad IQ and just really bad habits, basically. If I can put it in a lesser term, he just has really bad habits. Yeah. So if he can find a way to work around that, or even, like I said, to just stifle it enough to where they can still be successful, kind of like those OKC teams, which you have two more firepowers, like a LeBron James, like a Anthony Davis, if he can stay healthy, then I feel like they can still be all right,
Okay. Yeah. If Westbrook can cut the turnovers down and I think he falls in love with shooting threes. I don't know why, because he's not making a whole lot of them. But if he can do that, and then Anthony Davis can stay healthy, I think the Lakers can definitely make it. They can be a playoff team at least.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like I said, I feel like they can still be at least a playoff, at the least a playoff team. Now, how deep they go into playoffs is yet to be seen, but I feel like they could at least be a playoff team. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes. Okay. I got this. Yeah, definitely. So Darvin Ham is with the Lakers. Quinn Snyder is gone from Utah. Everybody saw that one coming. I've always said this about Quinn Snyder. Quinn Snyder is the type of coach to where if you are rebuilding or trying to turn your franchise from sucking into at least making the playoffs, Quinn Snyder is good at that. He can do that part. Anything after that, he can't do. So if you're trying to win championships, go to conference finals, he can't do that. But he can turn your franchise into a respectable winning franchise. He can do that part. it in Utah. So it didn't work as far as them making conference finals, but at least they were a playoff team, and they made it to the second round during his time there and all that. So where does Utah go from here now as far as who the next coach is going to be? And I'm sure that's going to be depending on if Donovan Mitchell stays with Utah or if he decides to go. But who should Utah bring in?
Honestly, like you said, it's gonna be an issue just because they still haven't solved they solved one of the problems which because they definitely needed a coaching change, but
Yes.
you still have the problem between Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert because one of them has to go.
Yes.
And it's deciding, what exactly direction do you want to go in? Do you want to trust the young guard, and hope that his development, is worth it in the long run, or do you want to go with the former defensive player of the year, who's won it multiple times, who's a liability on offense? So it's like, kind of what pick your poison, like what, because either way there's gonna be, there's gonna be setbacks and there's gonna be problems either way it goes. Like no matter what side of the fence you stand on, you're gonna have issues. So it's just like what's the lesser of the two evils, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I was Utah, my decision would be easy. I would let Rudy go, only because the NBA is a
guard-driven league.
Yeah, it's a guard-driven league, and it's an offensive league now. Now, back in the 90s and 80s, we would have kept Rudy Gobert over Donovan Mitchell because it was more of a defensive league. So you have to go with your offensive player. So Donovan Mitchell should be the one that stays, and we build around him. Like I said, it's some good coaches out there. Terry Stotts is still out there. Mark Jackson, if he wants it, is still out there. So Utah, they have a couple good candidates to
choose from. Yeah.
So, and Terry Stotts, in my opinion, he did well when he was coaching Portland. I felt like he did good. He did the most with what he had in Portland. And yes, he had Dame. He had I'm forgetting the other guy's name, Lord. But they had Dame. They had the other guard. And they made the conference finals the one season, so he did the most with what he had there, and I think he would do well in Utah. So if they wind up getting Terry Stotts, that'll be a good hire for them.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, that would be a good one for them. So, so sis, we never talked about the any particular games that you're looking forward to as we're it's almost football season. It's getting closer.
It's
getting closer. Yeah. So are there any games that you're looking forward to on the schedule?
Let me look at the schedule real quick. Let me pull it up. Hold on.
Sure. I'll start off with a couple of mine that I'm looking forward to.
Okay. You do that while I'm pulling this up.
As everybody knows, I'm a big Chiefs fan. We have we have the Red Kingdom show here on ASAP on Saturdays, and I'm looking forward to, of course, when the Chiefs go to Tampa.
That's gonna be a good one. That's
Uh,
gonna be a good one.
the payback game, December 4th, when we go to Cincy to play Joe Burrow. I look forward to that one too. So,
You want that revenge?
oh yeah, I definitely want that.
As you should.
Definitely want that because it's been a while since I've been hurt off of a football game like I was that day. Championship. So yeah, definitely.
Oh, that Buccaneers Cowboys week 1, and that's on September 11th too. That's
the Buccaneers Cowboys. Yeah,
that's gonna be good.
Yeah, that's the game where Skip Bayless cheers for both teams, so he doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tom Brady scored. Yeah.
honestly, Skip Bayless needs to just send LeBron a check and just say thank you for creating a career for me. I'm gonna go to my grave saying that. I don't care. When I meet LeBron, I'm gonna be like, you know what? If you want me to knock Skip Bayless out for you, I got you, my boy. I'll do it free of charge. Just bail me out of jail. That's the only thing I ask for. Just bail me out of jail.
Bail him out.
Just bail. And also, I'm looking right now. Week 3, Packers and Buccaneers will be a good game as well.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a Sunday afternoon game. Let's see what else we got here.
Aaron Rodgers' last crack to beat
Tom Brady. Okay, so week 4 you got Chiefs Buccaneers week 4. Then you also have Rams and 49ers on Monday Night Football. That's going to be a good one. Let's see here. What else we got? Looking forward to Bengals and Ravens and Chiefs in week 5. Also, Raiders and Chiefs will be that week on Monday Night Football, October 10th.
Yes.
Excuse me. That'll be a good one too.
Yes, indeed. That will be.
Broncos Chargers week 6. That might be good too. Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Y'all play the Chiefs play the 49ers this year, week 7.
Yep. We sure do. I think it's there. I think it's in Santa Clara.
Oh, I might have to pull up to that one. I got my media pass. So I might be able to see if I can swing or something. Yeah, there's a lot. Just from looking through the schedule right now, those are a couple of good games that I see so far. Let me keep looking here. Hold on. When we get to like around the Thanksgiving time.
There's some pretty decent games on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, 49ers Cardinals. Yeah, let's see. So on the 20. Wait, so it'd be okay. So on Thursday the 24th, which will be Thanksgiving. So we got Bills, Lions. Of course, we got Giants and Cowboys, and then Patriots and Vikings. That actually that's pretty decent.
Yeah, that's good for Thanksgiving. Yeah,
that's pretty good. Then the next day, we got some really good games. The next day for the next couple of days. That Sunday is going to be really good matchups. And
Rams Chiefs that Sunday.
Yeah, Rams Chiefs is going to be that's going to be a really good game. That's going to be the game everybody's going to be looking forward to.
Chargers and Chiefs in week 2.
Oh yes, that's right.
That's going to be a good one too.
Yeah, the Thursday night.
And I'm excited that there's going to be games on Christmas, NFL on Christmas Day now as well.
Yeah, week 13 we got Browns and Texans.
The potential Baker versus
Baker for right. Right. We got that Monday Night Football game will be Saints and Buccaneers. That'll be a good game.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, that'll be good.
Ooh, we got some. Let me see what we got for Christmas because he did mention Christmas, which is true. The 25th, we got Broncos, Rams, Packers, Dolphins, and Buccaneers and Cardinals. Okay, we getting extra fed on Christmas.
Extra fed.
We getting extra fed. Okay, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get what 3 NFL games and
Yeah, 3 of them.
They usually
The
have
NBA
4
as
or
well.
5
Yeah.
NBA games.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to make sure I got that day off.
Right.
Because I'm gonna need to be in front of my TV with a plate and and opinions, a plate and opinions. That's it.
Yeah, those were some good games on Christmas. Packers, Dolphins, it kind of depends how the season is going for those two teams, but the other games, Broncos and Rams, that'll be good, and then Buccaneers and Cardinals will be good.
Yeah, no, that's so. I mean, like I said, I had to look through the NFL schedule because I hadn't really taken a look at it prior to now. But it looks like, I mean, like I said, we're gonna get fed pretty well. Like as far as as NFL fans, and there's a lot of good games to look forward to.
Gridiron, yes, we play your 49ers. Yeah. The best moment of my life was winning that Super Bowl, man. That when you wait your whole life for something to happen and then it does. That was the most amazing game, amazing night ever.
Yeah, that's how I felt when the Colts won the Super Bowl over the Bears.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was pretty happy when the Colts won the Super Bowl with the Bears because I'm a Colts fan, so I didn't see an issue. I didn't see a problem.
You're a Colts fan as well?
I am a Colts fan.
And
all right.
I've been a diehard Colts fan since I can remember starting to watch football when I was a kid.
See, listen. So we're right. So you share. I'm so glad to know this, Chris, because you share my pain over these last 5 to 6 years of us being absolutely terrible.
Yeah. And this year, all you hear is Frank Reich saying that the wide receivers are making progress. It's like, why didn't you guys go out and get a wide receiver?
How about we get an actual solid quarterback? Why in the hell did we go after Matt Ryan? I don't understand it. Like, so did the Colts personnel not watch 28-3? Did they not see that? Did they not see what happened? Because I remember it very vividly.
He's a big upgrade over Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
No, he's not. But okay. Listen, I'm better than Carson Wentz. Like that's not an upgrade. Like I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
Sure, I feel you, sis.
I'm sorry. Like I'm not a fan. Like when we got everybody said, "Oh, we got Matt Ryan." Like we also got like almost falling off a cliff Matt Ryan. We didn't get like a young Matt Ryan. We got a been through. You know what I'm saying? I mean, God knows what in Atlanta, like Matt Ryan. We didn't get like a fresh drafted Matt Ryan. Like
To me, it was more of a lateral move than it was an upgrade.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the whole move of getting Matt Ryan. I really don't.
Ever since we destroyed Andrew Luck by not getting an offensive line, and then he retired, they have not went after a quarterback for some reason. I don't understand it.
I don't. Honestly, it started by us getting rid of Peyton Manning too soon.
Yep.
Because I feel like had we kept Peyton Manning for those couple of years that Denver had him, we could have had a shot at the Super Bowl because we still had a good team. We still had a really good team. We still had really good receivers. Like, he just needed an opportunity. And, I don't know. They just got rid of him too soon, in my opinion. They try to do it the Belichick way, and it's like, no, you don't do Peyton Manning the Belichick way. The same way you wouldn't do Tom Brady the Belichick way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Any other players, like, okay, that's understandable. But Peyton Manning, like the guy who literally put this franchise on his back, and the reason why we are successful as we are is because of this guy. That's the guy you push out the door.
Peyton Manning turned Indiana into a football state instead of just basketball.
Literally, like remember those Peyton Manning years. Like I'm from Chicago, so I'm right up the way. So like I remember those Peyton Manning years. It's like Indiana completely formed into a football state, absolutely. And now it's just like I don't know, man. Like I question a lot of the decision making as it pertains to the Indianapolis Colts.
I know everybody likes Frank Reich and says how great of a coach he is, but I'll tell you what, some of the decisions he's made since he's been with the Colts have made me question that a lot.
Well, he loves numbers.
No, analytics.
Stat guy.
Analytics.
Hold on. Hi, stat guy. I've never met you before, so I'm gonna properly introduce myself. I am the sensei. I'm sure you probably heard of me at some point.
You actually have met me before because I was on a show with you and Pride once before.
Were you? What show was that?
My daughter was the one that was sitting on my lap.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow, that's crazy. I didn't even remember that. Okay, so good to see you again, stat guy.
You too.
What's going on, Dustin?
It's not much, Greg. How are you?
Yeah, the Colts. That is too many. As a Chiefs fan, too many bad playoff memories when it comes to the Colts. So.
Oh yeah, we used to smoke, y'all. We used to smoke, y'all.
Going all the way back to '95 and the Lynn Elliott game in 2003, we couldn't make y'all punt and all the. It was.
Listen, Peyton used to pick on y'all. He used to have a field day with y'all. No matter where it was at, either Peyton. It didn't matter where y'all was at, whether it was at the Chiefs Stadium or at the Colts Stadium. He had a field day.
He did.
The year they won
afraid of Arrow.
When they won that Super Bowl that year, they beat the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Smoke they boots. Smoke they boots.
So you guys are not happy that Matt Ryan's in Indy, correct? Or you are?
I'm not a fan of it. I really am not. As soon as I heard that he was coming to Indy, I was like, why?
Well, there is a reason behind it, though.
Okay, so what's the reason? I'm listening.
So Matt Ryan's got 2 years left on his deal.
Okay.
The Colts are talented enough where they can still make the playoffs as a wild card with Matt Ryan as their quarterback because they have a good enough defense that can get him there, similar to kind of what Phillip Rivers did when he was there.
Okay.
If you look at what the quarterback free agent class will be when Matt Ryan's contract is up, you have Kirk Cousins, you have Russell Wilson, you have Joe Burrow, you have Kyler Murray, you have Justin Herbert, you have Mitchell Trubisky, and you have a lot of other quarterbacks that are going to be free agents when Matt Ryan's contract is up. My thought process on this is you're bringing him in as a 2-year filler, waiting until that next big free agent class opens up, and then you're going to go spend.
So now that you say that, not to interrupt you, but now that you say that, who do they go after Matt Ryan's done? Like, what would make the most sense in your opinion?
Realistically, I don't see Justin Herbert even get it. I don't see Burrow or Herbert getting that far because I think they'll be locked up before they get to that point.
For sure.
But I think they could. I think Mitch Trubisky would fit very well with Frank Wright if he's still there. I think Kyler Murray would do well just getting a kind of a fresh start with a different team.
I think I would go for Kyler Murray. I wouldn't go for Mitchell Trubisky because Mitchell Trubisky's not a good quarterback in my opinion.
I think Kyler Murray's going to be in the MLB by then.
And if worse comes to, I do think Murray will be in the MLB before then. But if worse comes to worst, I could see Indianapolis making a run at Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah, if it doesn't work out in Denver, that could.
But I don't see it not working out with Denver because Denver has weapons. Like they have a whole they have an offensive line which he didn't have in Seattle. They got receivers which he had DK Metcalf, but they got a plethora of options in Denver as far as receiving wise.
And then you have to look at next year. You have to look at next year, too. You have Jimmy Garoppolo as a free agent who I know is rumored to go to Indianapolis for a long time. I mean, Tom Brady's a free agent next year, but he's not going to go to Indy. So, I mean, they have options after this year. That's why I think Matt Ryan's only brought in as kind of that multi-year filler instead of, shuffling through quarterbacks the last couple of years like they did. At least you get Matt Ryan for 2 years. You can try to get a guy like Julio Jones to come to Indianapolis and reunite with Matt Ryan and hope that he's got something left. And then once you get that next big free agent class, then you go and spend money on somebody.
Yeah, that makes sense. I see where you're going with that.
I would rather have Kirk Cousins over Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is better.
Yeah, and he's a free agent in that 2024 class also.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
Colts lost their chance to get Tom Brady when he went to Tampa Bay. They had their chance that year to get him, and they chose Phillip Rivers instead.
Yeah, they went Phillip.
Like someone just told me this.
And Phillips still had, he had a decent year that year, and in that playoff game, if it wasn't for the analytics.
And I will say this, too, with what you're going off of, Greg. If Jonathan Taylor performed the way he did last year when Phillip Rivers was at Indianapolis is in the AFC Championship game easy.
Yeah, agree. I agree with that, yeah.
They should have beat Buffalo that year in the playoffs.
They should have beat Buffalo that year, and they trusted Phillip Rivers too much as opposed to trusting Jonathan Taylor the way they trusted him this year. If you let Jonathan Taylor do what he did this year when Phillip Rivers is there, I'm willing to bet Phillip Rivers doesn't retire. I think he would have came back this year and tried to run it back if they came close.
That's what drives me nuts about Frank Reich. Jonathan Taylor will get going running the ball, then he'll take him out of the game, and you might not see him for 2 or 3 series.
Man, woo.
I need him to do that when we play them, and we him to take him out. Like, take Jonathan Taylor.
I hope for the simple fact he don't. I hope he don't. I hope he keep him in for the whole time.
Yuki says the Jaguars turn to win the AFC South. No.
If the Jaguars win the AFC South, do the Jaguars have like a fight song or something? Because I'll come on here and sing the fight song if they win the South.
That's not that bad of a prediction though, because we've seen what Doug Peterson has done with young quarterbacks.
That's right, they do have.
We've seen look at Carson Wentz, for example. Carson Wentz went 7-9 as a rookie in his first year with Doug Peterson, and then the next year they go to the Super Bowl. We've seen what Doug Peterson can do with young quarterbacks, and the fact that Jacksonville went out and spent a lot of money this past offseason to put weapons around Trevor Lawrence. That's actually not a bad take because their defense wasn't that bad last year.
That's true.
Yeah, they did have a good defense.
I'm with the Colts. They're going to win the AFC South.
I think we got enough to win the AFC South too as well, but I just still am not sold on Matt Ryan being our damn quarterback.
I'm just not sold on Matt Ryan, but our defense and the running game is what's going to have to carry us.
They're going to have to, and that's what makes it even worse because then it's like if those things are elite, we're pretty much placing like those close games are going to be in Matt Ryan's hands, and we all know what Matt Ryan does when the game is close.
Yep. He turns it over.
I have a headache thinking about it. Like it just hurts my heart.
Yeah. And it's going to be a couple games in there too, where
we're gonna have blow. Oh my goodness,
Frank Wright is going to believe in the analytics too much.
Oh boy.
Just like last season.
Stressing me out.
Yeah, he gets aggressive when he don't need to, and then he'll get passive when he needs to be aggressive.
Yeah,
he'll go for it on fourth down in his own territory, but then when you should go for it on fourth down, when you're on the other side of the field, he won't.
Yeah, Tucker, do you know what?
Kind of like he's not as bad, but he's kind of like Staley from the Chargers.
Oh yeah, I love.
Staley's a little worse.
I love Brandon Staley. Yeah. I love him. I want him to keep believing in, analytics and numbers.
Brandon Staley's going to be on the hot seat this year because if he pulls off the crap that he pulled off last year with the team that they assembled this free agency, he's going to be gone.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after last year, cost his team a playoff spot.
It cost his team the division.
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah, and that game against us, and then the Raiders game when he called timeout when he had no business.
He cost the Chargers the division against Kansas City, and then the week after that he cost him a playoff spot by not letting that game end in a tie when the Raiders were trying to have it end in a tie.
Yep.
Yeah. Madness. Football. It's
And I
almost on the
don't.
way.
And with the Titans with Tannehill, like I said, you're not going to go far with Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback. So
I mean, they don't have
Yeah.
AJ Brown anymore either. So
yeah, and they don't have AJ. Yeah, so it's going to be all on Derrick Henry and
yeah, they have Robert Woods as their number one receiver now in Tennessee, and then they drafted Traylon Burks.
okay.
And then they have Austin Hooper at tight end. So, yes, they have weapons, but they don't have an A.J. Brown. They have a rookie who they brought in to replace A.J. Brown, and then you got Robert Woods coming off of a torn ACL, and then you have Austin Hooper. So,
They better hope Derrick Henry don't get hurt.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. They better. Yeah. Because if he does, then it's gonna be the same thing that happened last year. Because they should have got rid of. I mean, how many years does he have left on his contract again?
I think he's got 3.
Oh yeah. See, they're in the hole for at least the next 3 years, and that's gonna not bode well for Derrick Henry because he's gonna eventually start to slow down.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he might actually be a free agent after this year. Hold on.
Oh, well, that might be. They probably. That might even start looking otherwise because
Nope, he's a free agent. He's a free agent after 2024, but they can get rid of him in 2023. It's a team option in 2023.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to do that because he's not the answer as far as a quarterback for that. They're literally a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah.
Literally, because they have the defense, they have the O line, they have the running back. The only piece missing is the quarterback. Literally, that's the only piece missing.
And now wide receivers because now they have no A.J. Brown and they have an injured Robert Woods. So now even if you get a quarterback, what can you get out of that receiving core?
Oh, that's a good point too. That's a good point too. Well, they still got. I mean, because those receiver core you can get back. You still got to get rid of the quarterback. He's still not a good quarterback. Let's keep it all the way honest.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised when they gave Tannehill that much money. Yeah, they got to the AFC Championship game, but
that's why he got the money.
We saw what happened the next 2 seasons.
Well, I guess there's another reason why he got the money too. He got the money because of the Adam Gase effect, where Adam Gase pretty much ruined him as a quarterback, and then he got to Tennessee, and he actually looked relatively decent. The same thing is that's the same argument people were making with Sam Darnold when he was in New York, that Adam Gase ruined Sam Darnold as a quarterback. So I guess if you go from Adam Gase to getting your team into the AFC title game, you are going to get a payday.
Yeah.
Only time Adam Gase had any success was when he was with Peyton.
Yeah, that was it.
No, not entirely. When did Jay Cutler have his best year? Under Adam Gase as the offensive coordinator.
Adam Gase, yeah, that was.
I wouldn't. If I was him, I wouldn't even claim that. That's still Jay Cutler. I don't care what you say. It's still Jay Cutler. That man got so much free money. Honestly, he needs to teach a course. I would like to know how you get so much free money in X amount of years and just be so lethargic and just non-interested in your actual profession and still get all these millions. Like, that is my life goal.
That's because he was the Bears' best quarterback they've ever had, and that's not saying much. That's really not saying much. I know all the Bear fans out there hate hearing that, but Cutler was the best quarterback the Bears ever had.
Oh no, that's absolutely a fact. But it's like he was so uninterested in anything related. Like his facial expressions after he would just totally destroy a game for the Bears. Honestly, it's inspiring. It's inspiring because he was just like, I don't care, and I'm still gonna get these millions either way.
I'm in a similar boat to Bears fans though, because I'm a Vikings fan, and Kirk Cousins is the best quarterback we've had in God knows how long.
Wait, hold on a second.
He keeps getting all this free money.
Wait a minute. Even over Culpepper?
Culpepper had always had the biggest issue of holding on to the football. Like Culpepper's athletic ability and the ability that he could to throw that football was unbelievable. But he also turned the ball over 25 to 30 times a year because he had 17, 18 interceptions, then had another 10 fumbles. Kirk Cousins only had 7 interceptions last year.
Okay.
And 35 touchdowns. The year before that, Kirk Cousins only had 9 interceptions and 36 touchdowns. Since coming to Minnesota the last 4 years, he's averaged 31 touchdowns and 9 interceptions with Minnesota. He doesn't turn the ball over. He puts up great numbers. It's just the fact that the defense has let him down the last 2 years completely. And you saw that last year where Minnesota finished the year 7-10. They had the lead in the fourth quarter 14 times of their 17 games. They had the lead in the final 5 minutes 10 times, and they came away 3-7 because Mike Zimmer forgot how to coach in the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, he did.
That's a good point.
But 98 was the year the Vikings should have won the Super Bowl. That team was stacked.
And 09.
Cunningham was awesome that year, and it didn't happen for him.
And 2009 when Brett Favre decided to come back and play one more MVP year.
Yeah. If it wasn't a bounty on him in that game, they probably would have won. Because he was getting out, you could feel it was something going on. Because I remember watching that game, I'm like, they are hitting him harder than
if you go back and look at the stats in that game, there's no way the Saints should have won. So out of the 60 minutes, the Vikings had the ball for 41 minutes. Saints had the ball for 19 minutes. Minnesota had 553 yards of offense. The Saints had 221. And yet Minnesota still loses that game. Figure that out.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson had that fumble inside the 5. So that
Percy Harvin had a fumble inside the 30 on an end around. Like those two plays right there led to 14 points because Minnesota kept turning the ball over inside their own 30.
Exactly.
But New Orleans had no answers for Minnesota in that game. Like they could not stop Minnesota's offense at any point until they actually injured Favre in that fourth quarter, and then he threw that terrible interception with the game on the line. That was the only way they were going to stop Minnesota is if they turned the ball over and beat themselves.
In 98, when they missed the field goal?
That was when Gary Anderson was 50 of 50 the whole year and then misses a 31-yarder off the damn upright.
Woo.
That's nice, man.
Man, I felt y'all pain on that.
At least he hit the upright. It wasn't like Vanderjagt that just tried to kick it all the way to the left, all over in the stands.
It was a 31-yarder center of the field. This is bad.
Yeah. Gary Anderson, he
was 50 of 50 of the year in extra points, and he was like 38 of 38 in field goals during the year, but they didn't get to the playoffs. So let's just shank a 31-yarder.
I remember watching that.
Yeah, they were the best team. They would have beat Denver in that Super Bowl. They would have. The Vikings would have won that Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he just would have made it.
Yeah, Cunningham had a couple good years there in Minnesota.
I think he was only there that 1 year. Because in '99 they had Jeff George starting.
George.
And they made Jeff George look
good because he had Randy Moss and Carter to throw to.
I was like, when did Jeff George start looking good? And he was looking good that season.
He didn't look like that when he played for the Colts.
No.
Didn't look like that when he played for the Raiders either.
Oh, he was god-awful with the Raiders, yeah.
Same thing when Gus Frerotte went to Minnesota. Freaking Gus Frerotte was 23-16 in 2 years as a starter in Minnesota because he had people to throw to.
See, that's what worries me even about the Colts. You got Matt Ryan, who I'm not crazy about, but then we don't have a great receiving core right now either.
That's why I said they need to go and figure out how to get Julio Jones. Yeah. I get that Julio Jones is on the back 9 of his career at this point, but even at a 1 year or 2 year deal, his best years were with Matt Ryan, and they have that kind of connection and have that chemistry where you should be able to get something out of it.
I believe that as well.
They're gonna have to do something because Ty hasn't been the same the last couple of years. He can't stay healthy.
Then you got Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman are your other two.
Yeah, Campbell can't stay healthy. He plays maybe 2 games a season, if that. Pittman had a pretty good year last year. He's starting to look like he might end up being a pretty good pick for him.
Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah, Pittman is good. He was good even in his college days.
And I think the receiver they got from Cincinnati, who ended up Pierce.
They don't even have T.Y. Hilton anymore. T.Y. Hilton's a free agent yet.
They haven't signed him back yet.
Yeah, but like right now you have guys like Julio Jones, Will Fuller, T.Y. Hilton, Emmanuel Sanders, Deshaun Jackson, Odell Beckham, Mohamed Sanu. Those are kind of like your free agent wide receivers right now.
It was rumored that they were going to go after OBJ, and I hadn't heard much more about that.
That's why I said like Julio Jones makes sense for them on a short-term deal right now because everybody else, I don't know if you can trust anybody else.
Yeah, if Julio can stay healthy, that's the big thing. You have to worry about him, but I would rather take a chance with him than I would them other guys. Like you said, because of his relationship with Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
How many games do you think Deshaun Watson's going to get suspended for?
Oh my God. Oh no, what the hell?
They'll probably just do 4. They'll probably just do the 4. He hasn't.
I've been saying 6, but
he hasn't been charged with that. I mean, he's not been found guilty of anything with all this that's gone on. So they'll probably just give him the 4 and then let him go. Let him go ahead and play after that.
Well, now there's a couple more cases coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, where are all these? Like,
honestly,
is he still?
I honestly think he's done.
Oh wow.
And the only reason why I say that is there's a reason why the Browns have not traded Baker Mayfield yet. And this is, I think, the reason. I think they're having buyer's remorse at this point with Deshaun Watson, thinking that they signed him, everything was good to go, and he was going to be ready to go. And now you keep having all these additional lawsuits added to the table. It's just going to get dragged out to the process where you're not going to be able to play him. Like, you're going to have to sit him again this season, which would make 2 years in a row then where he has not seen a snap. Yeah. You can't count on a guy that has not seen a snap in 2 years to lead your franchise going forward. So then at least you have Baker Mayfield signed for 1 more year. You can start Baker Mayfield this year. You can hope that he has a decent season this year. And then when he hits the free agent market next year, you figure out what you want to do with him. Do you sign Baker Mayfield long-term and then cut Deshaun Watson and basically say we messed up, we should have stuck with Baker all along? Or does Baker benefit just starting 1 year, doing as best as he can, and then latching on with like the Arizona Cardinals or somebody long-term next year? I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to play anymore at this point because how can he? You're looking at 2 years now without him seeing a snap, plus an additional suspension after that if any of this stuff ends up holding true.
I know I read a report with a couple quotes from his lawyer, and from what the quotes from his lawyer, the lawyer's expecting some kind of big suspension because he basically said that they're probably not going to be happy with the outcome.
Yep.
Well, if that's the case, then
I mean, you're right. As a professional athlete, I'd say maybe basketball might be the lone exception where you can miss a season and really not miss a beat just because you can still pick up a basketball and just shoot hoops without jumping and things like that. Football is the hardest sport to miss multiple seasons and then come back the way you were before you got hurt. And this isn't like an injury where he's still out there rehabbing that injury, still doing kind of like things with the team. He hasn't been able to do anything with the team for a year. Keep in mind, when he was suspended, when he did not play last year, he was not with Houston. He wasn't doing anything to stay in football shape. Now he gets traded to a new team. He's still technically not allowed to do anything with the Browns organization yet. So you're going on 2 years now where you can stay in football shape, but you're not being able to do any football activities with your old teammates or your new teammates. Like, how are you expecting to step right in and contribute right away?
Yeah.
So he can't do none of the OTAs or nothing until
not until this is resolved. No.
Over, right?
No. Wow. That's why I said I think Cleveland's having a buyer's remorse situation right now where they were banking on Watson being cleared of everything, so they kind of jumped the gun to get him there, and now they see that it's not going to be the quick process that they thought it was going to be. So now I have a feeling you're going to see Baker as a starter week 1.
And you ruined, not only that, you ruined some of your relationship with Baker.
Oh, they ruined it all. There's no way Baker re-signs with Cleveland after this year.
Now, if I'm Baker, I'd buy in for this year just to try to play good and improve my stock. And
Yep,
then
that's what I would do.
After I'd be out of there.
Yep, that's what I would do. And then if it ends up being that Watson gets suspended again next year, Cleveland's screwed because Baker ain't coming back. You ain't gonna have Watson, so you're gonna have to figure something out in a hurry.
Gonna go right back to the 0-16 and 2-6. Now it'll be what 0-17. 0-17 days.
Yeah, back to the old Browns.
Yuki says Brissett is the only option for the Browns.
Well, that's all they got.
There's actually another option that they had who was 4-0 as a starter. Why don't you go get Tyrod Taylor? Bring Tyrod Taylor back to Cleveland. He was 4-0 in Cleveland as a starter before he got hurt.
He's been like the most unluckiest quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Cleveland, you said was 4-0, got hurt, and they bring Baker in. Then you go to the Chargers and they puncture your lung.
And then even before that, he took Buffalo to be 10-6.
Yeah,
he got Buffalo in the playoffs for the first time in 20 years at 10-6.
Yep.
The guy's obviously got something to give, and he can play some sort of quarterback.
Yeah, he has had no luck at all. You go to the playoffs, they get rid of you. Then you get hurt, they get rid of you. Then the team hurts you.
That was the most weird thing ever when that happened. They're like, well, he's out. They took a shot. He was trying to get a shot, and it punctured his lung. I said, they did what? I'm surprised they didn't get sued off that.
I think Taylor tried to sue him, and I think they reached an injury settlement with him where they did give him some sort of money.
Okay.
And then the way Herbert came in and played that game.
Right.
I mean,
that was the beginning of Justin Herbert. Yeah. Crazy.
They were playing. Was it against Tampa Bay?
Chiefs. It was against Chiefs. Yeah.
Against Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was against either Mahomes or Brady. I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah. That came down to
because they almost won that game.
Yeah. Harrison Butker made a game-winning field goal. It was a 56-yarder, I think it was. Yeah.
You been watching any college baseball today, Dustin?
I haven't watched anything today. I was watching a lot of it this weekend.
I watched some over the weekend. I was watching earlier before we got on. I was watching some of the college softball at Oklahoma and UCLA on. So I was watching some of the college softball World Series.
Yeah, in terms of
I don't know how they hit that ball 40 feet, so close to the plate. Man, that reaction time is crazy.
Yeah, in terms of what's going on right now, Louisville's beating Michigan 7-3. That game is delayed right now because of rain. Florida and Oklahoma are tied at 1. Mississippi and Arizona are 0-0, and that's delayed. And then you have the suspended game from Auburn and UCLA picking up later. And then East Carolina is up 4-2 over Coastal Carolina, where if East Carolina wins, they can finally make the NCAA tournament. Or no, they can finally get to a super regional. Despite being a host seed for like the last 5 years, they can finally get over that regional hump and get to the super regional if they can hold on against Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, our college here in town, Ball State, they were one game away from making the NCAA tournament this year. They got beaten the conference championship.
And then other games later today, you have Southern Miss and LSU elimination game, Vanderbilt and Oregon State elimination, North Carolina VCU elimination, Connecticut and Maryland, Oklahoma State and Arkansas, and then Stanford and Texas Tech. And those are all the final games of the first round before Super Regional start.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to watch some more of it this afternoon. Watched a little bit over the weekend. Man, I ain't been doing much but laying in freaking bed. I don't know what the heck's going on with me.
It looks like what?
I started feeling better finally Friday, but then now, like today, I got up this morning, got on that morning show. Right after the morning show, started feeling bad again.
Jesus.
They need to figure out what's going on.
All right.
There's another one. Why is there so much of this? Don't click it.
Yeah, Super Regionals, I think. Did you see the Oklahoma State score yesterday for baseball?
No.
29-15.
Is pitching that bad in college baseball this year?
The Big 12 pitching is terrible. The Big 12 has like really good offenses. So like Oklahoma State, they gave up 12. They were down 12-0 after 3 innings to get to Missouri State, and then 2 innings later it was 14-10. Then it was 17-14, 17-15, and then they scored 12 runs the last 2 innings to win 29-15.
I know a few weeks ago, IU was playing Iowa, and IU was up like 13-2, and then they ended up getting beat 30-16 or something. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, Louisville beat Michigan 20-1 yesterday. North Carolina won 19-8. Tennessee won 9-6, and that's actually, for as dominant as Tennessee has been this year, that 9-6 game is actually a bad game for Tennessee pitching wise because their pitching has been so strong all year. Oklahoma State had another 14-10 win yesterday. There was another 15-10 game. Like when you get to this point in the regionals and you start running out of pitching is when you kind of start getting those high scoring games. And then you got a team like Notre Dame who just went through the regional round of competition, winning 3-2, 2-1, and 6-4 because they have one of the better pitching staffs in college baseball. So now they'll be put up against Tennessee for super regionals.
When you get in these regionals, that's the key is the pit, like you said, the pitching, because you're playing so many games.
Well, it's a double elimination. So technically, if you can do it right, and if you can hit on all strides, you can win a regional in 3 games, which is what Notre Dame did. They had their first game of the series against Texas Tech. They had their ace going, and their ace only pitched 1 inning because then they had a 6-hour rain delay. So then the starter that they were supposed to use in game 2 finishes off game 1. They win game 1. They used their number 3 starter yesterday against Georgia Southern and won that, and then they got a chance to bring their ace back against Texas Tech and ended up winning. So Notre Dame actually only had to go through 3 pitchers the same way they would just go through 3 pitchers on a weekend series.
6-hour rain delay. That's outrageous.
Well, the game started at 10. First inning got done at 12 something or 11, and then the rain started at 11:45, and the next pitch wasn't thrown until 7:10.
Yuki said, "I didn't even know college baseball exists."
Well, that's very upsetting.
Ricky Smith, I live in Maryland. Go Terps. Some of the college baseball stadiums are small compared to MLB stadiums.
Yeah, well, that's accurate, but you got to look at college baseball stadiums. A lot of the college baseball stadiums are bigger than minor league stadiums. Minor league stadiums, you're lucky to get 3,000 or 4,000 people in a stadium unless you're in AAA. AAA, you start getting to that 15,000 mark, but AA through single A, most minor league stadiums are in that 4,000 or 5,000 capacity range. There's a lot of college baseball stadiums that are sitting at 10,000 people. And yes, they don't always fill out, but college baseball is becoming bigger and bigger the last couple of years, and a lot of that has to do with people are actually showing up to games now. And I will admit that I was never one to watch college baseball as much as I did before as I do now. But the crowds now at college baseball are so much better than Major League Baseball crowds that it's actually worth watching games.
You watch some of these major league games nowadays, the stands are empty.
Yeah, they're empty because, ticket prices are outrageous, but you look at Major League Baseball now and how it's played, it's home run or strikeout. That's pretty much how it's played. That's pretty much how it's going to be played until somebody can change the way baseball is played, which I don't know how that's going to happen. And fans are just getting sick of just the kind of the home run or bust mentality. They'd rather go to a game where the fundamentals are strong and you teach teams the way to win, and that's how college baseball is played. You still get the hit and runs, you still get the bunting, you still get the stolen bases, and you still get all those fundamentals that a lot of people grew up watching.
You can say, what's your favorite MLB stadium? Favorite stadium that I've been to has been Baltimore.
I know, you know that
They're Camden Yards. That's been my favorite one I've been to. Of course, I love the Reds. I love the Cincinnati Reds, the Great American Ballpark. It's awesome place to go watch a game as well.
Yeah. I guess without sounding biased, just because of who my favorite team is, but my favorite stadium to watch a game is Wrigley Field. I don't care what anybody says. I just love watching Wrigley Field because of how it's set up. It's not set up downtown like most stadiums are. It's set up in a neighborhood. So you're literally like it's literally like you're playing Little League baseball where you're leaving your house and walking to like the public park to play baseball. That's pretty much what Wrigley Field is set up like. And then in terms
I
of
haven't been there yet. That's where I really want to go there, just mainly because the history of the place, and I want to check it out because everybody says it's an awesome place to go watch a game.
Yep. And then if I outside of Wrigley Field, I'd say either PNC Park in Pittsburgh I like. Otherwise, the other one is Oracle Park in San Francisco.
I haven't been either one of those yet. I really like I like the Camden Yards the way it's built down like almost like in a hole. So like when you walk into the stadium, you're at the upper deck and then you walk down everywhere. So it's even if you're sitting in the second level, you still feel like you're low.
Yep.
I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't care for the White Sox stadium that much. I went to a game there. I don't know it.
Yeah, I don't like the new White Sox stadium that much either.
I didn't care for it. Went to Washington Nationals. We went to that National Stadium there. It wasn't too bad. Detroit has a nice stadium.
Comerica's nice.
Yeah, we went there when it first opened up. My son was wrestling a world championship tournament at Ford Field, and they gave all these wrestlers like a bag when you signed up. They gave you this bag with a shirt and stuff in it, and it had coupons in there where you go watch a Tigers game for $6. So when he got done wrestling that day, me, him, and my dad, and we all went over and watched the Tigers and Indians play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dodger Stadium. Yuki said Dodger Stadium's his favorite. Ricky Smith, Camden Yards is nice. He said PNC Park is tremendous as well.
That's so close.
He said other than the owner, the team owner stinks, unfortunately. Pirates haven't been good for a while, and they've had some good talent come up. Because here in Indianapolis, we have the Indianapolis Indians, which is the AAA team.
I don't know.
And the Indians always have a good team. They're usually right there to win the AAA division and stuff. But for some reason, it hasn't translated at all over to the Pirates.
Oh, that's my guy. I thought it was like one of the
I remember watching a lot of the guys who play on the Pirates back in AAA.
Yeah.
It used to be the AAA for the Reds years ago, and then they switched to the Pirates. Now the Reds is Louisville.
Yeah.
I go to Fort Wayne and watch the Tin Caps play, A-ball team for the Padres.
South Bend's a nice stadium too, 4-1 Field.
I haven't been there.
That's a nice stadium too.
When we went and watched the Tin Caps last time, that's who they were playing was the South Bend Cubs.
Yeah.
Wait, try to see if you can go in it.
All right, you have anything else? Go ahead and get ready.
I do not actually, no.
I actually have another show. It's supposed to start in 10 minutes, but it's probably going to be a little bit after that.
You stretch yourself too thin.
Oh, and then I'm going to be on with Pride later, so I'll end up doing like five shows today. I still have my 11 o'clock show tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern. My Gonzo Sports Talk show. So,
Jesus, you stretch yourself way too thin.
Well, when I started having my health problems, I'm home all the time now, so it keeps me busy instead of just sitting here being bored.
Right.
Surprisingly, I actually miss work.
I kind of fell into that trap too, where when my kids were home from COVID, I had the privilege to like work from home for my job, and then when they ended up going back to school, I got so comfortable working from home that I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay working from home just because I'm comfortable doing that. But then I missed having like an everyday 8 to 5 job where I could just go into work. I'm just like, well, I kind of miss this.
Yeah, because I was a plumber is what I've done. and I've been plumber for 8 years, and I haven't worked for like almost 2 years now because I can't use the right side of my body hardly anymore. And yeah, I miss work. I never thought I'd say that, but I do. Oh yeah, Yuki, I'll definitely be drinking some Mountain Dew. That's my drinking choice. That's what keeps me going all day. All right, we want to thank everybody for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow.
I'm going.
On behalf of Greg, it was nice having Sensei on here. That's the first time she's been on the afternoon show. And of course, Dustin popping in. Dustin comes on quite a bit, though.
I get on when I can. It's usually if I'm not sleeping, I'll pop on.
Yeah, because you work third shift now, don't you?
Yeah.
And you see, I'm usually up till 3-4 in the morning every night, and then back up at 10, try to get up at 10 to get on the morning show. But
yeah, I'm working. I work 9 to 6, so then when I get home, I usually stay up for like 2 hours, and then I just crash like 8 to 2 usually.
When I worked third shift, that's what I used to do. I'd get home, get the kids off to school, then I'd sleep till they got home from school, and then be up for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But now, man, with my nerve issues, my leg hurts so bad it's hard for me to sleep, so I'm usually up pretty much all night most nights. Sleep whenever I can finally fall asleep.
Right.
On this video. But all right, thanks for joining us. We will see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Afternoon Blitz, and I'll be back on here in probably about 20 minutes or so with Easy Money, a sports betting show. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.